Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, Emerald Planet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the Emerald Planet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President, Executive Director of Emerald Planet, and Director and host of Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from downtown Taipei, Taiwan, as we're looking around the globe for those 1,000 best practices and 144 different nations. And we're here talking about the green space, i.e. specifically focusing on the world of tea, new Teaism, and how that relates to developing a new green economy. And I have a gentleman sitting right beside me who is part of this movement that's going worldwide. This is Dr. Fereidoon Shahidi, a university research professor, Department of Biochemistry at Memorial University of Newfoundland, St. John's in Canada. And Dr. Shahidi, is glad to have you on Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I think the work that you're doing and the research that you're sharing as far as what is going on in Canada, but in essence around the globe, is very exciting. But tell us a little bit about your university and its importance to the Canadian society.
Well, my university, as you mentioned, is located in St. John's, Newfoundland. We have about 18,000 students and about 700 faculty, and we are active in many different areas of research and teaching, as well as extension programs.
Now, looking at this, you're talking about the research. Of course, teaching is part of that whole effort as well, but also extension. What is the extension part of the research and teaching that you're doing at your university?
Well, the extension refers to things that go beyond the teaching and research, and that is doing committee work, working with the people outside, talking to you as part of it, and that's a whole lot of different things that it includes.
Looking at your work, tell us some of the major findings and why you're part of the new tea culture that's actually reestablishing itself around the world.
Well, our work extends to trying to go more to the natural type products. Natural, one shouldn't be fooled by it because it doesn't mean necessarily safe, and I say this all the time. All poisons are also natural. So the way we work with the food, and including tea and green tea as part of it, is that we want to make use of minimally processed foods with less additive. The consumers want to have basically green labels and things that are very healthy for them. And green tea and tea in general has been part of the culture of many nations for many years, and that's what we are engaged in as part of our research program.
It's really interesting looking at the research that you're doing, how that the tea culture, as far as written history, goes back probably as long as 6,000 years. And we're moving forward, and then tea kind of fell out. Coffee, of course, became dominant really in the world culture, even in tea countries. Coffee became dominant. But now we're moving back towards tea. And tea is looked upon as being not only just a beverage or something that we just consume on the move, but something actually becomes a part of a lifestyle. So tell us about this green movement and how this lifestyle becomes actually enmeshed with one another.
Well, when you push the pendulum in one direction to one extreme, first what you do is to go to the other extreme till you come to a balance. And this is what is happening now. There was a lot of push, and we had all these coffee houses. You go to Starbucks, every corner, four corners of the same, cross section. And now we are trying to set a balance. Try to get even in the Starbucks to have the tea and different types of tea And really, where we have coffee, there is only a couple of choices. But with tea, we have so many different choices. And that is something that is coming to fruition with the efforts of a lot of people and the research that shows the benefits of tea versus coffee. And a lot of time we find that the importance of tea in terms of its taste and variety is moving that towards something that we haven't seen much before.
Now, looking at this is really very interesting as far as this movement, because you mentioned something intriguing as far as the population in general, particularly in developed nations, is moving back towards more natural foods. And this is both in plant and animal foods that we have. And so tea is becoming part of that. And of course, tea is looked upon as being almost as an herb, as a cleanse. You know, a lot of these innate properties that we really never thought about much in the past, but yet the ancients were very aware of these benefits. So why do you see society, as we're going to a planet that's moving from 7 billion to 9 billion people, so we have to provide, you know, food and sustenance for another 2 billion people, that all of a sudden we're kind of moving towards this natural way, which many people say is more expensive. It uses more resources in order to produce, but yet it's looked upon as being the new green way.
Well, one thing we forget, the food we produce, we waste a lot of it. Maybe some 30% of it. We catch fish, a lot of it is a small size or ugly shape. We dump it or use it as a fertilizer. We go to the vegetables and fruits, we cut them and we harvest them and we waste them. One of the other problems we had is best before date that we are putting on products. And a lot of people dump those things. They buy them, they don't use them, and they think it's not good anymore. So there are multitude of problems that we are having. It is not necessarily all in the production. It is in the way we use the material that we are having. So yes, we are having more of a population, but we have more of a problem also, the way we are using food and the way we waste them. Full utilization is something that is very important. And this is what we have to pay attention to. And obviously in places like Asia, the wastage is a lot less than what we have it in North America, for example. And this is where we can make improvement to feed the hungry world.
Now, looking at the use of the chemical fertilizers, also the insecticides and pesticides, this is something that we now know is building up in the soil, in the air, in the water. It's directly affecting the quality of the food. And in many cases, although some countries keep adding more and more fertilizers, they're finding out the more chemical fertilizer you add, actually lower the productivity. And so it's like maybe we've reached that tipping point of where we need to look at the naturals, the organics, and all that as a balance for the earth itself as well as the environment. In your research and the work that you're doing, are you finding we're at that point where we need to be more aware of this? Or do we just keep doing what we're doing and maybe have two tracks of food, the all-natural organics, and another one would be the standard production we've used, in essence, since World War II?
Well, obviously, organic food is something that is coming up. People pay more for it, and they love it. But let's face it, a lot of food that we refer to as GMO and so on and so forth, well, if you look at the hungry world, they need food, and if they don't have it, and that helps them to get it, it is something positive. So, well, we may have a two-tier system where, depending on where it is used, where it is needed, we may have to have different agricultural practices. So there is a balance for everything. Something that is good for one place may not necessarily be the best for another place.
Now, looking at, you're in Canada, which is a modern industrial nation, very progressive in many ways. It's moving forward and a comprehensive program as far as protecting the environment, specifically air, soil, water again. And right, your neighbor to the south, the United States, is moving in that same direction. So how do you see this effort going on in Canada and the United States as far as people moving more towards naturals, organics, and away from the more standard processed foods, which would include use of chemicals and other types of additives that may or may not be proving to be most helpful for people?
Well, obviously, what we do in North America and in the countries where people can afford certain practices, whether it is for food, whether it is for other lifestyle selections and elections that we are having, it could be different from other places where the choices are limited for the people. If they are hungry, they eat what is available to them. But if you have a choice, you make that choice. If you have to pay for it, if you can afford it, you do that. So I say that there is more than one way that we can handle different things, and the way we look at the world, whether it is for its food, whether it is for its lifestyle and the rest of it.
We're just about running out of time. And when we've chatted before, we've always had that same situation. But what do you see for the growth and development of organics, all-natural foods, fiber, over the next 5, 10, 15 years as we do head towards 2050?
Well, we are moving ahead. We are making good progress in making better use of the resources and full utilization of the resources, so that with the growing population, we can address the concerns that we are having in terms of the production, in terms of the healthfulness of the food supply, and in terms of going green and making full use of whatever is available to us in order to address the concerns that is there. And we are in the right direction, and hopefully we will meet our objectives.
So this is Dr. Fereidoon Shahidi, and he's at the Memorial University of Newfoundland in St. John's in Canada. And thank you for being with us as we come to you live from downtown in Taipei, Taiwan. We look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
Some dreams are universal. Dreams that inspire us. Multiple sclerosis is a devastating disease that changes lives forever. The National MS Society does more for people with MS than any organization in the world. But we can't do it alone. To get involved, visit us online at nationalmssociety.org or call 1-800-FIGHT-MS. This is why we're here. Because nobody dreams of having multiple sclerosis.
What's wrong with this picture? Half of young Americans can't locate economic powers like Japan and India. 20% can't even find the Pacific Ocean. Without geography, our children aren't ready for the world. Geography is everywhere. It's incredible creatures, rhythm, fashion, flavor. It's economics and politics. It's change. Understanding connections between people and places is critical in the 21st century. That's why we created mywonderfulworld.org. Go there now for your free parent and teacher action kits and give our kids the power of global knowledge. Because kids who understand our world today can succeed in it tomorrow.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and host of the Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from downtown Taipei, Taiwan. We're looking around the globe, and we're physically here to see what is going on in this most beautiful nation, and at the same time bringing together experts from around the globe, both in agriculture, research, development, and tea. There's a new movement going on around the globe, which is bringing together organics, all-natural food products, and a very ancient herb and beverage called tea. And they're calling this the tea innovation, or as the Chinese would put it, IT. And the gentleman right beside me, Dr. Chih-Cheng is president of the Taipei University of Medical Technology, professor of Department of Biotechnology, and pharmaceutical at Yuan University for Medical Technology in Taiwan. And he's also a great proponent of tea and Teaism and the movement at his university to develop a center for the study and enhancement and innovation of tea is what brings him to television on Emerald Planet TV. And Mr. President, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
We're glad to have you. Tell us a little bit about your university, a little bit of its history, and also some of the disciplines that you have at Yuan University.
My university is now history is 52 years old. 52. We have 7,000 students in our school. Our major is medical technology, like nursing or medical technology or food science or pharmaceutical or medical engineering and so on.
It's really exciting what you're doing, and as you allowed me the opportunity to come to your campus and look at the beautiful grounds, and it's a very green university, almost 90% under canopy, under trees, and then you're combining green roof and also solar power into this whole mix as far as greening the nature of your university. You've done an excellent job with that. But it's interesting that you're combining all this medical technology, emphasizing technology, but yet on the other side, you're going back to all natural organics and combining food as, in sense, a replacement possibly for drugs and also for the real emphasis on technology in medicine, modern medicine. So tell us about this delicate balance that you've actually developed at Yuan University.
Our the objective is we think in our opinion, we think nature is everything. We love nature because medical technology is preventive medicine, preventing medicine like as herb, tea, or everything. So we try use nature method or lifestyle to protect human being or our country or our school.
Now you have a very active university. You're attracting students not only from all around Taiwan to your university, but also you're encouraging more and more students to come from overseas to study at this very, I think, very progressive and very forward-thinking philosophy as a university. Why this philosophy as we move towards 2050, adding more citizens to the planet, but yet you're saying we need to return to our roots and we need to return to nature. How do we do both of those things at the same time?
We think peace is everybody hope. We also think we can connect by natural product to other country. So we maybe come from nature to modern science. So in Taipei University, we have overseas students come from everywhere else. So we think maybe older or ancient science may be good for modern science, maybe combined. So we think culture and the technology or everything may be close linking.
I think this is something you come from a cultural and historical root, which is really in the eons of time. You know, as the Chinese people, you have at least 6,000 years of written and recorded history. And you have many ancient philosophers which showed the world of its time the way to live, the way to grow, and the way to balance culture and technology, because you've been a technological-based society almost from its beginnings. So it seems like that you have both a strong anchor to the past, but a very progressive now and a very progressive future. How do you think this ancient tradition and technology and history actually aids you to be even maybe more aggressive, more progressive as we move towards the future with new technologies, new innovation, and new sustainability concepts within development?
I think university is very important. So we educate our students. You must combine innovation in everything. So maybe tradition science, if we add innovation idea in this science, we can get more development. So I think everybody in our school, each student need creative and innovation idea education.
I like your emphasis on the IT or the TI, whichever way you want to look at that, the innovation of T innovation. And this is something that really is very deep in your own nature. I know that from the time that we spent together now. And you've actually developed a new center with a focus on T, which goes back into the mist of times, but now is becoming new again, in a sense, and a way maybe to renew societies in ways that we don't really think of it in a very fast, modern world. Why is your university selected to establish the first real T institute and center in Taiwan, and now is gathering experts from all over the world to help you in that mission?
I know T is peace, I think, but I think T innovation, that's new word, IT, not iPhone, IT. I in Chinese means love.
Love.
So I love T. IT, love T. I think T is in Taiwan. I think T is life. Every day, we want to drink a cup of tea. So by the tea, we can create many new model or new style, other thing from the tea idea. So we create create or we produce, develop some tea or tea cosmetic. Besides drinking, we designed a tea house and a tea beverage and tea rice, everything. So we think tea maybe change the world because it's peace.
And I think this is something that really comes through in being in your center and then interacting with the experts that you have attracted from around the world, is that even though you're a man of deep thought and a man who has a solid philosophy, you are definitely a man of action. And many times, many people are great philosophers, but they don't really have that very practical impact on the society around them. Your university seems to be different. It's philosophy in action. Where did that come from in the history of your university? And how do you see that accelerating, moving at a faster pace as we move forward? And we have to be very quick. We're almost out of time.
I think action is the first important. It's the most important. Action. And every person need action. No action, no idea. I think it's important. So our student medical technology is action. It's a goal of MP University.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. And thank you for coming and sharing about that. And thank you for letting me visit your campus and being able to interact with the people there. This is Dr. Chih-Cheng Lin, who is the president of Yuan University in Taipei, Taiwan. And thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.
There's more than just books at the library.
There's more than just books at the library.
Excuse me. There's more than just books at the library.
Il y a plus que de livres à la bibliothèque.
Hello. You have a lot of great books here today. You know there's more than just books at the library.
I know.
There's more than just books at the library.
I don't want to be hooked to a machine.
I want all the medical treatment available to me.
I wouldn't want my family to have to make this decision.
My doctor knows what's best for me.
An advance directive is your life on your terms. Talk with your family. Decide what's right for you. Then put it in writing.
Documenting my wishes today means my family won't have to make heart-wrenching decisions later.
To learn more, visit www.putitinwriting.org.
1,200 American youth run away from their homes every day. The National Runaway Switchboard is here to help. 1-800-RUNAWAY. If you are a runaway, thinking about running away from home, or a parent or guardian concerned about issues facing your child, call us 24 hours a day. 1-800-RUNAWAY. In times of crisis, hope is just a phone call away. 1-800
I helped turn my child's public school into a whole new kind of school. One with a curriculum that really motivates kids. One that has extended hours, 6 days a week, year-round. With loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. One that has support services like medical and dental right there. A A school where parents' involvement is encouraged, where teachers have more time to teach, and students are excited about learning. There's just one problem. My child doesn't ever want to come home. You can help turn your school into a community school for excellence. Find out how. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
To the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, the Executive Director and President of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from downtown in Taipei, Taiwan, as we're looking around the globe in the new movement called Teaism, or the life of tea, as it's impacting in organics and natural foods, and expanding to really a new green agricultural future. And we have an expert sitting right beside me who is from China. This is Dr. Shi-Ming Li, who is a professor in the College of Life Sciences in Huanggang Normal University in Hubei province in China. And Dr. Li, welcome to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, we're really glad to have you, and it's exciting what you're doing as far as the life sciences and your work with the Normal University. Tell us a little bit about your university, and for those who may not know, exactly where is Hubei province in China?
Well, the Hubei province is right in the middle of China, so it's in the center. So in traffic-wise, is pivotal, is right in the center of the crossroad. And the university is in east of Wuhan, which is the capital city of Hubei province.
Now, tell us just a little background, and then we'll start talking about the work and the research that you're doing in the life sciences. How many students do you have? Where did the students actually come from? And do you have international students that study at your university?
Yeah, we last question first. We do have international students. We have around 40 to 50 international students. And also, my students in the research in my group, we have 24 students, and we have 3 graduate students. And also in our team, we have around 12 young teachers. And also the university, we have 20,000 students, undergraduate students. So it's a medium-sized university in China.
But this region, as you're talking about, is the almost the exact center as far as China itself is concerned. Now, going to the aspects of food production, and then of course the tea, which China has been famous for many millennia. What is the movement towards natural foods in China, and then how does tea fit into this natural movement towards organic foods among the Chinese people?
Oh, the movement is very promising and also is exciting. People are realized that natural food is a lot better, much better than the previously used that non-natural food. And so people like to go to natural, especially for food. And in terms of tea, I had the research actually done in between Rutgers University and a company who specialized in tea and who spent $19 million in tea research, majorly in black tea research. So that's by far, as I know, is most spending money in black tea research is different from green tea research. and in terms of the trend of the natural food, tea plays a big role. And such as, for example, in China, the tea they don't like add sugars in the ready-to-drink tea, the bottled tea. So sometimes it's bitter, but sometimes it's astringent. But consumers get used to it. So in other words, people's taste receptor can be trained. It doesn't always like sweet, super sweet. And on the other side, like in 2010, in U.S., I measured 59 bottled tea I bought from U.S. Market, and found the nutritious chemicals like catechins, tea polyphenols, we see has a minimum amount. Only 2 out of 59 has effective amount of tea polyphenols. So which I think is needed to be changed.
Now, looking at the work that you're doing in tea research, and you're saying that tea has now become an important part of the more natural and organic food diet that people have. And we hear that China, because it's becoming a rapidly developed nation, not just developing, but developed nation, is that people are eating more starches and fats and these kinds of things because they're more disposable income. And so being overweight has increased. And so the various diseases that comes with that is happening. But the Chinese society seems to be very quickly turning away from that, the fats, the starches, and the sugars, back to a more nutritious and more natural diet. What do you think is pushing that trend, and why are the Chinese people able to change so quickly in something that really is an individual choice?
Actually, that's I have 2 thoughts. One is from the culture, especially traditionally. And the culture is more vegetables and more fruits, less meat, especially less red meat. And the other thing is recent years, because of life getting the food getting cheaper and better, and so the disease getting much more prevalent, such as diabetes. In China now, China is the biggest country that has the largest population in diabetes and pre-diabetes. So from the government and from the ordinary people, they realize this part, so they take actions now, and starting from the natural food, and also in addition to that, and also the education in the exercise is ongoing.
Now, the Chinese people have the tradition of Tai Chi and other types of movement, and the photographs of thousands of Chinese out in the parks early in the morning, going through the Tai Chi movements and exercising together as a group, is really something that's almost embedded in the DNA of the Chinese people, that they do enjoy exercising and being outside. And again, you're having this movement towards natural foods. Is there any effort by the government to influence or have people to go to more natural and less fat-saturated diets? Or is this something that really is coming from the people themselves, and the government is reacting to this new movement, this new thinking by the Chinese people?
Yeah, you're right. It's the education of the education, and it's started from the Chinese people. Since they are educated, they are aware of the lifestyle, better, good, natural diet plus exercise. And then now the government realized this movement and they advocate natural food and exercise.
Now, looking at your university, so this is actually it's more than just a trend. It really is a movement within society to go back to more organics, more natural food. And so how are the consumers in China expressing this to the supply chain and also all the way back to the farmers who have struggled as China industrialized? But now it seems like that there's more emphasis by the people to feel a closer connection back to the land, the water and the air, and actually to the farmers themselves.
Before, like in past 20 years or so, it's disconnected. But now people realize that is not good. They only buy, they only bought the end product from the market. Now they wanted to know where it come from, what's the source, and what's the credibility, and what's they used in the growing process and the processing process.
Dr. Lee, looking at the research and the work that you're doing at your university, share with us about how you're helping the consumer to know what may be the best food, including the tea, and at the same time, how to best source that food.
Now we all know, it's a natural. We go by natural food, and so in our research and in our education in the university, we try to provide information as much as possible for the source of the food, and also in the research we try to determine the functionality and also trace the source of the food that we are doing the research.
Well, thank you very much. This is Dr. Shi-Ming Lee, who is the College of Life Sciences at Huanggang Normal University, Hubei Province, China. Thank you for being with us. And thank you, dear viewer, for being with us as we bring you this international program coming from downtown Taipei, Taiwan, the youth movement towards Teaism and natural foods as we look around the globe to create the Emerald Planet.
Art, a universal language, an expression of culture, of self. And now, thanks to Empowered Women International, a way for emerging and established immigrant and refugee artists and artisans to find hope to earn a living while enriching the lives of all of us. Empowered Women International, making a better America every day. For more information on Empowered Women International's educational programs or to make a tax-free donation, contact CFRIP at AOL.com.
Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty.
You'd think it would be easy to tell which kids have trouble with their eyesight. But that's not always the case. Even though 1 in 4 children may have a vision problem, eye doctors tell us the symptoms aren't always so obvious. We do know that 80% of all childhood learning is visual. And without good vision, kids can have trouble learning to read and may fall behind in school. For clues on how to spot the real-life signs of childhood vision problems and what parents can do, visit checkyearly.com. A public service message from the Vision Council of America and Reading is Fundamental.
Saving for retirement might be easy for some folk, but for others, it might take a little more work. And for those who haven't started, there are still things you can do to catch up.
Oh, that is good news.
Like getting out from underneath past debt. And don't get wrapped up with high-interest credit cards.
Let's get you some eyes.
Be diversified with your investments. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Your financial goals are not out of reach. The choice is clear. For a happy ending, choose to save.
Everyone with alcohol and drug addiction is in the same boat. With treatment, you can find solid ground. For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
We're back to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We're coming to you live from downtown in Taipei, Taiwan, as we're looking around the globe and being in a country that is on the move as far as the new Teaism, using tea as food, tea as medicine, and also to look at organics and all natural food, vegetables of all types, and fruit. And we have a gentleman sitting right beside me who's actually involved in how food and the research and the use of tea impacts, affects, and actually benefits sleep. This is Dr. Ray Lee Ping Ying Chiang, MD, MMS, and he is the president of the International Sleep Science and Technology Association, Taiwan chapter, and also the director of Sleep Technology Special Interest Group Insight Center at the National Taiwan University in Taiwan. And Rayleigh, thank you very much for being on the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you for inviting me.
And you were saying you were in surgery before you came out to be with us. So you are very active as far as in the health community. So tell us a little bit about the special interest group that you have at National Taiwan University and also as president of your own organization.
Okay. Before us, the sleep technology was very limited to the diagnosis of the sleep disorders, which is in the medical field. But after our definition, the sleep field has been expanded to be related to the lifestyle. We published the first textbook in the field of sleep technology by Springer in the end of the 2012. So after the publication of this book, the annual industry value globally increased threefold every 3 years.
So that's absolutely incredible. Now tell us a little bit about your company, and then what we want to do is get into this correlation between sleep, diet, exercise, and other research that you are completing.
Okay, so as we mentioned just now, the sleep is the part of the lifestyle. So it's closely related to the food and drink and exercise, especially the daily consumed, the tea or coffee.
Now, looking at what is going on Taiwan and, of course, in China, many other countries, the diets, the daily exercise or not, the rise in obesity, increase in weight gain, and also the decrease in sleep. All of this seems to be correlated to busy lifestyles and stress. Tell us about your research and what you are finding, and how do we counterbalance these negatives with positives that you are learning through your work with Taiwan National University and also through your own private research?
Okay. The obesity and sleep is closely related. In fact, after our research, we are preparing for an academic paper which is on the obesity and sleep. many people who have poor sleep quality or sleep deprived, and they tend to be obese because the blood concentration of the ghrelin and leptin will get imbalanced. So some people will feel that they will get much more weight even drinking the water. That's because the imbalance of the endocrine between the leptin and the ghrelin.
Now, these are very technical words, and so we have both our domestic and international audiences may not know those terms. Define these terms that you just shared with us, and what is the physiological and maybe even the psychological impacts of these chemicals that are actually natural within our bodies.
Yes, that's belongs to part of the endocrine system, and the leptin could make people slim, but the ghrelin may make people gaining weight more.
So looking at the busy lifestyles that we have today, and of course, really people are on 24/7, 365 because of the cell phones, computers, all the information technology we have, social media. How do we turn that off so that we become more healthy naturally instead of trying to continue this very hectic lifestyle using pharmaceuticals?
Oh, that's very important. Many people, they go the wrong way because they don't think about how to get rid of the electronics, and they try to take medicine or sleeping pill to improve their quality of sleep. That's the totally wrong way. So we will recommend people can start with use less electronics before going to bed, or especially after dark. Then they will get less blue light stimulation to the retina, to the eyes. Then the quality of sleep could be partially improved.
Now, you know, in Emerald Planet, we really emphasize the green space, and we're looking for the best practices all over the globe in 144 different nations, and we're looking for, as we say, minimally 1,000 best practices. So looking at the correlation of food, exercise, and sleep, how would we convince our viewers, both domestically and internationally, that there is a correlation and that this really does fit into the green space and how to enhance and protect their internal environment as well as the environment around them?
Yeah, I think nature would be the key. So to follow the nature rule would be the best policy. And as Sam introduced at the beginning of this interview, the ISSCA in Berlin, we are now defining the global standard in the sleep technology field. So including the green space and related issues, I think that could be included in the standards.
I think this is something that's really important. Looking at the new lifestyle that people have in Taiwan and China, you know, countries all across the world. In many countries, we traditionally thought of as developing countries are really now what we call emerging market nations. So they're moving towards middle income standards and class. What do they need to be concerned about? Because there's over 100 countries in that category. How would you suggest to them that they prepare for joining the new world middle class so that they have a better quality of life and a better balance than maybe many people now in the more developed nations have become accustomed to the last 10, 20 years?
Yeah, most of the people think the good quality of sleep is an issue for the rich people. In fact, it's not. According to our APEC agenda, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, the agenda on sleep technology, we emphasize and got very many evidences on the much more needs on the good quality of sleep, because in the developing countries there are more constructions in the countries, and the construction site worker, they require higher quality of sleep and to avoid the sleep deprivation, to prevent the risk and the danger occurred in the working space.
Now, there is a definite movement in the world towards more organic and all-natural foods. Tea, and that's one of the emphases that we're looking at here in Taiwan, being a tea nation and a tea culture. What types of food would you suggest people to be eating so that it improves their quality of life, but at the same time, the quality of their sleep?
Okay, as we know, the melatonin is the endocrine, part of endocrine secretion, and the precursor of melatonin would be one of the amino acid called the tryptophan. So some researchers recommend to have food rich of the tryptophan will have some help on getting for sleep.
Now, looking at that, so you've given us a hint, but what types of foods? Can you list maybe 4 or 5 foods that actually would fit into that category and that would be available mostly around the globe and would be helpful to balance this sleep, food, and exercise regimen?
Okay, so in terms of the tryptophan-rich food, some research they recommend the red meat, such as the sausage or the beef, etc., and the milk. But we still need some more evidences to prove this. And the exercise and the sunlight exposure will be very necessary to have a good quality of sleep.
We're running out of time. Quickly give us 3 or 4 fruits and vegetables you suggest.
Okay, so milk and beef or
fruits.
Okay, fruit. Fruit would rich of the vitamin C and vitamin E would recommend it.
Well, thank you for being with us. We're looking here in Taipei, Taiwan, at how do we balance food, exercise, and sleep to improve health, reduce the number of pharmaceuticals that people need. With me is Dr. Rayleigh Ping Ying Chiang, who is a physician, also a doctor, president of the International Sleep Science and Technology Association. We look around the globe to